That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome to Higher Ed Pulse, your Monday morning energizer covering insights and trends in higher ed marketing and enrollment. I'm Mallory Wilsey, bringing over 15 years of ed tech and marketing expertise to your earbuds.
And I'm Seth Odell, joining the Pulse with my own adventures from leading marketing at top universities to founding Kanahoma, one of the industry's fastest growing digital marketing agencies.
Each week, we bring you the kind of insider insights you typically only find over cocktails with your pals at a conference.
It's fast, it's fun, and it's designed for you, the busy higher ed professional.
You're not just listening to another podcast.
You're checking the pulse of higher education.
Higher Ed Pulse is part of the Enrollify Network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher ed professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at enrollify.org. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the next generation AI student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful and personalized interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com. Welcome to this special episode of The Pulse live from the ASU+GSV Air Show. I have Winston here with me. Winston, tell our listeners a little bit more about you.
I'm Mallory. So I'm Winston Roberts, also known as the teacher in a suit. I teach financial literacy at KIPP New Jersey, and I also do some AI consulting to help schools implement AI and prepare kids for the real world instead of industrial era factory work.
So you're a really exciting person to join our Pulse podcast today because I don't often get the opportunity to speak with middle school teachers. And you were telling me right before we hit record that you are headed to UPenn for a really terrific one-year program. Talk to me about it.
Yes, so it's a master's in Education Entrepreneurship program. I'll be in cohort 11. So it's a relatively new program, but it wanted to blend business acumen and innovation in education. So basically people who are in education who want to make big change to come and do this, one-year program so they'd have a, master's in it and be able to use business to amplify the change that they're already making.
That's amazing. What led you to teaching at the middle school level? Like, take us back. What got you interested in being a teacher? And this air show is all about artificial intelligence. So how are you incorporating that into your classroom now?
Great question. So I started out wanting to be a lawyer. So I, studied political science at Morehouse in Atlanta, and then worked at a white-collar litigation and telecommunications law firm. Kind of felt like that was the best it could get. It was a legal assistant program where they basically hired recent college grads to do paralegal work, just in kids who were interested in possibly going to law school. So I did that for 2 years, saw that this is probably the best it would probably get, and figured I could make more of an impact on the front end of the criminal justice system than the back end of the criminal justice system. So that's when I started looking at teaching. From there, I applied for Teach for America, but one of the associates at the firm said you should look into KIPP. And I said, I don't know what KIPP is. They said they'd been featured in Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers. They were featured on Oprah. If you take a look at this network of 100 and something charter schools, I looked at them, applied to a bunch of them, and now I teach my 8th year teaching at KIPP Newark. As far as what I teach there, I teach financial literacy. I was teaching math for a while, but I had a hard time convincing my 6th graders of when they would use a box and whisker plot in real life. So I wanted to teach something that was a little bit more practical. So I started my own financial literacy course that I was allowed to do within the school. And it became an enrichment course for all 400 students at the school. We have since expanded to the flagship school of KIPP New Jersey, Team Academy. And so now we have a total of 600 students that are taking this class. So starting from 10 students on Zoom to now 600 across 2 schools at KIPP New Jersey.
Incredible.
And really kind of this idea of practical education. What are kids going to need for the real world in order to be able to take advantage of the 97 million jobs that AI is going to create and not be left behind in the 85 million jobs that it's going to replace? So from there, I then came into AI. While I was on paternity leave, I have a 16-month-old at home.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you so much. So that's where I saw AI and thought, oh my gosh, this is going to change everything, and particularly education. So we have to make sure that, I know as educators, the payoffs we see are in decades, not in, quarters. So in order to prepare kids for the jobs that they're going to be entering, I figured we as educators have to do something to actually make sure they're prepared and they learn this technology and we're not running from it.
Many of my podcast listeners work in admission offices, enrollment offices. They're focused on marketing and, communicating with primarily high schoolers, but also middle schoolers, right, about their institution and the benefits of going to a 2 or a 4-year institution. So it is fascinating to hear that you are already thinking at, the 6th grade level. We need to start to prepare these students for jobs that don't even exist today, for the future of the workforce. Let's dig into that a little bit more. How do you see artificial intelligence just really changing the game? And what are you actively doing in the classroom to help your students be prepared?
Well, absolutely. And a quick correction, I started as early as 5th grade. Our middle schools go 5th
Even
all the way
better.
through 8th grade. And I just saw that it's so important to be practical with them, to really prepare them for what's coming. So even in my class, we, do an assignment where they have to research the college they want to go to, research how much it costs, and research how they're going to pay for it, and how long it's going to take them to pay back the loans based on their area of study and the professions they choose in there. So I see with artificial intelligence, this is the thing that all these different companies are paying attention to. I was just at a conference a month ago, the Yardstick Management / Diversified Search Group conference in Ojai Valley, California. And it was all these different industry professionals, from hospitality to HR to, consulting. Everybody is paying very close attention to what AI is doing. But a lot of K-12 schools are taking this wait and see approach. And I see that as educators, we're doing our kids a disservice if we are not actively preparing them for the jobs that they are going to take on. At the air show yesterday, Bill and I was talking about how we can change the world with AI, how we can, deflect incoming asteroids, desalinize all of the ocean's water, but who are the people that are solving those problems? And while we're talking about equity with AI in education, who's going to get to share in the equity that comes from solving those problems? So in terms of now, when my students, when I find out that they're using AI in class, I don't punish them. I say, tell me about that. What tool did you use? What prompts did you use? How did that help you? And I think I've just structured my class in a way that even if they're using AI, that's fine. You're still going to have to come up and present what your findings were anyway. I just see it as everything's an open book test now. So if we start with that approach, then it really prepares for some exciting opportunities of what's, possible and how we teach and how kids learn.
I love everything you just said. I think that you need to go to campuses throughout the U.S. and educate our professors and other educators how to embrace new technology. Unfortunately, higher education moves glacially. And I remember being a student when Wikipedia came up, and all of my professors were, you can't use that, ban it, it's not even going to stick around. And I'm seeing kind of that similar approach in a lot of ways around generative AI. I've been speaking with a lot of undergraduate business students who are telling me that they're being penalized in the classroom if their professor finds out that they're utilizing tools like ChatGPT. And that's frustrating for me as somebody who often employs students right out of undergrad. Job description I just put out last week has a qualification bullet in it that this individual I hire needs to have experience with using generative AI and having as much experience with prompt engineering as possible. And the fact that you're exposing 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade students to this, as someone who may employ these students in the future, I really appreciate hearing that. There's not really a question here. It's just more admiration for what you're doing. But let's turn to UPenn, because I'm really curious about this program that you're going to be going into and how that's essentially going to have an impact maybe on your students in the future.
Well, I will say that, one of the things, actually go back to your previous point, if higher ed moves at a glacial speed, then I don't know how you classify how K through 12 moves, because they're moving even slower, honestly. But what I will say, what got me interested in a program like this, something that's that blends business and innovation and education, was just how different it was and its emphasis on practicality. I mean, I think with this program in and of itself, I saw that it's your capstone project is your business that you're working on. You got to have to pitch it at the end of the year. And then along the way, you have faculty from Wharton, faculty from Penn GSC, faculty from the, I think, Weissman School of Design, who are helping you come up with your business and helping you grow it and scale it and everything, which I thought is insanely practical because not only do I get to, keep, my job, I also get to, come down to UPenn and learn all these great things. And I actually get to apply it week after week. And they even have space for entrepreneurs as well as entrepreneurs in the program. So that aside, just the caliber of faculty that are in this program and at UPenn, I'm not sure if he's actually in the program or not, but Professor Ethan Mollick, who's here, but from Wharton Business School, and I'm looking forward to going to a section tomorrow, I believe. He just had an assignment where he had his MBA students create an AI bot that would replace the roles that they were interviewing for. And I just thought that was fantastic. And I was thinking, this is the type of assignment that our K-12 students could do too. At least my 5th to 8th grade students, I know I could have this in my financial literacy class. So my thought was, if this is what one of the top business schools in the country is doing to prepare its students for the real world, then what's K-12 doing? And why aren't we doing more? So even though I'm not at Wharton, Penn does allow you to take different electives, and I'm going to find out whatever I can to try and get in his class as an elective to do that assignment, because I'm very interested to see what that looks like. But that's just the caliber of faculty that are at UPenn. I'm just really excited to start this program in July so that, I can really take advantage of, all the opportunities.
Winston, this has been such an inspiring conversation. We need more educators like you, but knowing that there are folks at the K-12 level who are thinking in this way, this is just truly amazing. And I am so appreciative that you joined the Pulse today. As we are wrapping up, where can our listeners find you? And do you have any parting thoughts?
Thank you so much, Mallory. It's been a pleasure. You can find me at Teacher in a Suit across all platforms. So TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. And I think I just want to say that we as educators have to prepare students for the real world. The time for wait and see is over. We cannot prepare them for industrial era factory work. We have to make sure that we are preparing them to be competitive for the jobs of the future.
That's the mic drop right there. Thanks, Winston.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Mallory.
it.
The Higher Ed Pulse is part of the Enrollify podcast network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too. Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional. Our show helps higher ed marketers and admission pros find their next big idea and features a selection of the industry's best as your hosts. Learn from Brian Gross, Eddie Francis, Jenny Lee Fowler, and so many of your favorite leaders in higher ed. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the next generation AI student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful and personalized interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.